So guys, so today we got a question from Marcus, who's trying to improve his jiu-jitsu offense. So he is in the military, and like most of you that are in the military at some point, Uncle Sam sends you around to do different stuff and kind of throws off your schedule, and eventually you're able to make it back to training. And that's been the case for him. By the way, he's a blue belt, in case you're curious. He says he's been back to training for about 5 months now. And his coach remarked the other day that, Marcus, you're looking really good with your defense. Your defense has barely lost a step. It's really good. It's still intact. But he says that his offense is a little slow. So Marcus is trying to figure out what can he do with his training program to improve his offense on the mats. And so he sends that question to me like, hey, how can I improve my jiu-jitsu? He says also that, he prefers a more simple style of jiu-jitsu. And so he's wondering if I can give him any perspectives on. So Marcus, thanks for the question, brother. So check it out. You're in a good spot. Defense is the platform to make a good offense in jiu-jitsu, just the way it is. Because when you come in, especially white belts, this is really common, but this is true at any level. The defense is what keeps you alive on the mats, right? If you're getting submitted and tooled up left and right, and you can't, stay alive on the mat, then you're not going to have a chance to go on the offense. When you go on the offense, though, in my mind, the way that I think of it, it's almost like going on a hunt for something. And if you think about let's draw that parallel to hunting, right? When you think of, say, like an animal in the wild, let's say a lion or something like that, and you have those documentaries and stuff like that. When you watch them, they get laser focused on one particular animal usually. And it's like they might have a herd of animals in front of them, but they'll particularly focus on one that they think they can hit. And then they go after it. You can think of humans hunting as well, right? When humans go hunt, they typically hunt for a particular animal. There's typically a season, right? There's deer season and there's, duck season or whatever, turkey season. Whatever it is that they're hunting a particular animal and focused on that. And the way that they're going to hunt that particular animal would probably be different than the way that they hunt that particular animal, right? So there's certain things that they need to do. They're not there just sort of whatever shows up, I'm going to shoot. That's not the idea, right? And so you want to think about it in that sense. One of the things that will destroy your offense in jiu-jitsu is being overwhelmed by the potential options, right? Because if we get to side control, and if you're okay, I'm here in side control, I've passed the guard, now I'm ready to go for the submission, and there's an armbar, there's a Kimura key lock, I've got a paper cutter choke. I could sit back for a leg lock or a knee bar here. Maybe I could do, there's too many things to focus on, right? You can be overwhelmed by that. And that inability to focus on one thing, it'll create a sort of a paralyzing nature. We think about analysis by paralysis. But it doesn't allow you to go on the hunt. That's like you going hunting and you're I don't know if I'm going to go for a deer, a turkey, or a duck or whatever. It's not going to happen that way. It's not going to work out too well for you. So instead, you need to sort of zero in on what do you want to work on? What submissions do you want to attack? And again, that's what I would focus on. Now, the benefit of focusing on one or two submissions or whatever it might be, but a fewer amount of options, is you get laser focused on those. And the beautiful part about that is you begin to recognize opportunities, because one of the things that's really important when we're talking about offense, whether we're talking about passing guards, sweeps, submissions, whatever it might be, is there's these opportunities that you have to recognize, and they're typically only there for a moment, right? A second or two that you have to take advantage of. And so even for me, as a black belt, I've been a black belt for 11 years now, right? Long time. There's a brown belt that's training with us right now. He's visiting, and he's like, man, you've been a black belt for as long as I'm training. I'm getting old. And even me, after training for a long time, whenever I'm getting ready for a competition where I want to be really sharp with my offense, or if I'm really trying to improve a particular offensive weapon, what I do is I try to limit myself to just using that as much as possible, or anything that connects to that. Because what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to zero in on whatever feelings or movements or whatever that are going to make that particular thing happen. And this is why also, if you watch a lot of high-level jiu-jitsu practitioners and black belts in competitions or even in rolling, many of them have particular submissions that they will use over and over and over again. They use other stuff, but you'll see that a lion's share of their techniques and their submissions and wins and their offensive weapons are sort of lumped together in a very small set of techniques. This is because they've zeroed in on those techniques and they know how to make them happen in all sorts of different ways, and they've become very in tune with the different feelings and the body movements and everything else that would make those particular techniques happen. And so that's what you want to do. If you want to be more offensive, we want to zero in on a particular set of offensive techniques, whatever those might be, something that obviously you can use, something that's working for you, or something that maybe worked for you before your layoff when the military had you doing whatever, and try to focus on those. And again, think of it as going on the hunt. Think about being the predator that's hunting for the prey, right? You want to hunt for those things and try to make them happen as much as possible. And so that would be my idea to you, brother. If you want to be more offensive, shorten your menu of options, make it very small so you can focus on just a few options. And in turn, what that'll happen is that'll start to open up a lot more opportunities for them to happen because you'll be searching for just that thing and how to make that happen. And so that's my video to you. Hopefully that helps, Marcus, and happy hunting with your submissions and your offensive weapons. Talk to you guys next time.